take a tally on who's in favor of repealing the president's landmark legislation. It is identical to the bill that passed already in the House last month. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell admits it is a long shot. Senator Lamar Alexander is a Tennessee Republican who joins me now. Senator Alexander, thanks so much for being here. We all remember watching you as the voice of the Republican Party during that health care summit last spring. That was a fight you lost. Is this one you expect to lose as well?
Well, it was a fight we lost, but I think we won the argument, Megyn. What we were saying was that if we pass this law, premiums are going up, debt's going up, people are going to lose their insurance, and that's actually happened. This afternoon, we're going to have a vote on whether to repeal the law and begin to replace it with something that actually helps Americans cut their health care costs. All I can tell you is all 47 Republican senators are going to vote to repeal it.
And yet you're not going to get enough crossover by all accounts to actually make that happen. Even senators like Ben Nelson have come out today and said they're not going to.
It's up to the Democrats in the Senate. I mean, if 23 of them are running for re-election in 2 years, some of them may have changed their mind.
Well, there's been a question raised on this program within the last hour about whether the Republican Party has been, and I quote, hijacked by the Tea Party, and that it is the Tea Party that is strong-arming you into taking a vote that, even if it did pass in the Senate, would have no chance of being signed by the president.
Well, I think all of us have a lot of respect for Americans who speak up, as Tea Party members did. But remember, this is a excuse me, this isn't a vote we cast last year. Every single Republican senator, and there were only 41 of us at the time, voted against the current health care law and proposed instead a series of steps that would reduce health care costs so people could actually afford to buy insurance. So all we'll be doing this afternoon is to do again what we did last year.
What's your best, I can see politically how this is going to play out, because you've got some of these Democrats who are going to vote against repeal, then they have to run for re-election, and if they're in a district that favors repeal, that could come back to haunt them. But as a practical matter, it's, assuming you lose, it's not going to do anything in terms of changing Americans' lives. What do you feel is your best option right now for actually making dents, significant or otherwise, in the health care law?
Well, first, this gives us a chance to renew the issue and remind people why we were right when we said premiums will go up, you may lose your insurance, your Medicare will be cut. That's true with half of Medicare Advantage holders. But if we lose today, then we can move on to other things, such as almost every governor, Democrat or Republican, is saying to us, how could you impose this new unfunded federal mandate of more Medicaid costs in our states when we're already having to make such big cuts and college tuitions are going up, et cetera? So we could delay the Medicaid expansion until the federal government is willing to pay for it.
And what about the judicial, how it's playing out in the court system? Obviously there was there was an important decision just this week on that.
The court systems are saying this week that we were right last year when we said we shouldn't pass the law. So I think that supports our idea. We simply need to go in a different direction. We want health care costs down, but the law as it was passed last year actually expands our health care system.
I know. Our viewers know the talking points by now, with all due respect, Senator. But I want to ask you one final question before I let you go.
Those are my beliefs, not my talking points.
Understood. But the outlines for and against health care have been adequately outlined by both sides. Let me ask you this. The White House came out in the wake of that court opinion by Judge Vincent down in Pensacola, Florida, and called him a judicial activist and said that his opinion is outside the mainstream. Do you think those remarks are out of line, and do you think that they're correct in any way?
Well, the mainstream of the American people said in November they didn't like the health care law, and they put a lot more Republicans in the Congress and in control of the House. So we appear to be in the mainstream, not outside of it.
Senator Lamar Alexander, we'll be looking forward to watching this unfold today and seeing what the outcome is. All the best to you.
Thanks very much.
Thanks so much. Well, new documents are just out, and they are suggesting that the 9/11 hijackers got help from inside the United States in the weeks before the attacks. Just ahead, see what we found out about 4 suspects who were never even arrested. Plus,
this is a Glock 40.
Oh boy.
50 Cent, Too Short.
This DEA agent was talking to kids about the dangers of